Hey, Facebook world. I'm going live to do an interview with Kristian Flores. Hopefully I invite him to the video right now. See how this works. So there's something wrong with this iPhone video. Well, you're on. How are you on? Look at that. All right. I'm excited about this. I'm going to bring Kristian on right now. Oh! Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Amazing. So I'm not going to say that this has taken an hour in the works to get this mug on this camera right here. But what's happening, Kristian?
Hey, how you doing, Billy? Happy to be here with you.
So this is the first of hopefully many interviews I want to do with some fitness professionals that have inspired me over the years, many years that I've worked. And I picked Kristian as one of the people who's actually come from the roots. So as he gets himself situated, I'm going to tell you that him and I work together in one of the biggest box chains in New York City, possibly one of the biggest gyms in the United States. Now, when we worked there, they were on their up. Now they might be so much on their down, but that's a good reason why neither of us work there anymore. I used to crush it in my space when I was there, and when I met him, he came in. What I respected about him was that he oozed confidence and quickly came on the scene and established himself as an expert where we were working. So I respected him. It's been 10 or 12 years in the making. I'm still trying to get him to be one of my business partners. And maybe this interview will be one of those stepping stones. So Kristian, you got me?
I got you. I'm here, brother. I'm just trying to find a good spot with some good lighting, and hopefully you'll be able to hear each other. Can you take it to the room, please, babe?
Yeah. You don't even know. We do videos in our house all the time. Oh, my goodness. All of a sudden, the kid will pull out the xylophone. Oh, yeah, well, I'm doing a video. Thanks.
Ding, 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 ding.
Then you try not to be a parent when you're on the video, like pretending like you're not yelling at them. But you got to realize parents yell at kids. Like, get out of here. So listen, let me ask you a couple questions.
Shoot.
Let me ask you a couple questions. Let me start with what you think the state of personal training is in 2018.
The state of personal training. I'm going to need you to be a little bit more specific than that.
Like if someone wanted to, you've probably met people who work in finance, who work in human resources. I have a friend who worked in fashion design. She wanted to become a personal trainer. She wanted to be the person who literally was working one-on-one with people to improve their fitness. So the state of personal training, when we first started, there was no such thing as boutique gyms. They didn't exist. And now those types of things exist. So that changes the answer to what's the state of personal training. So if someone wanted to jump into the space today, how could you outline the playing field for them?
All right. Well, I think that some of the important information that I would want to share with someone who's going to become a personal trainer, let me just attack it from that angle. The first thing is that it's important to recognize that your certification is only the first of many steps towards becoming proficient at what you're doing. It is by no means just you go and you take this course and you're going to come out and you're going to be a great trainer. No. You're going to come out and you're going to barely know anything, and you're going to need to learn from someone. So just like in any other arena, finding a place where education and mentorship is going to be possible is going to be critical to your success. Otherwise, you are going to sacrifice many good clients along the way while you're trying to learn. And it's not good for them. It's not good for the industry. And it's not going to be good for you either to be blowing up clients in the beginning. Secondly, being a personal trainer is not like many other jobs in that you are not going to just be personal training. Personal training is going to be the service that you deliver, but you are also going to have to be a salesperson and a marketer. So you actually are looking to become 3 jobs at the same time. Are you prepared to take on 3 roles? Otherwise, you shouldn't become a personal trainer because you're not going to have success. You have to be able to sell and you have to be able to market. And in 2018 versus when we started, that means that you're going to have to be comfortable with the digital layer, and you're going to be exposing things on the digital layer in media, multiple media points, right? Because you can't just Facebook, you got to Instagram, you got to Snap, you got to do all these other things. So you have to be prepared if you're going to be a personal trainer to take on these other tasks that other people may be doing only, right? There are people who all they do is marketing. All they do is internet and Facebook marketing, and there are people who all they do is sell. But you are going to have to be just as good as them in addition to becoming a really good personal trainer and being able to deliver on the service that you have already managed to sell. So coming in, it's a lot, and nobody tells you that in the beginning. You kind of just get thrown into the fire and you got to figure out, oh, wow, I got to convince people that I'm worth spending money on. And before I can convince somebody, I got to get somebody to actually sit in front of me so I can convince them in the first place. So I got to go and market and get people to come. So it's a huge challenge. Part of that can be ameliorated by working at a gym, right? Maybe they'll bring you through levels, they get you through education. You can partner up with some people and mentor and learn from other people and see what they're doing. And while you develop your skills in all 3 spaces at the same time. So you learn a little bit about marketing, you learn a little bit about salesmanship, you read some books, you take some courses, you learn about personal training, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And if you're not prepared to do those things, then you better be prepared to spend some money to pay somebody to do that for you. So if you're coming in and you don't have money to pay people to market for you, and your manager is not going to close sales for you, then you're going to have to do it yourself. Right. And that's what I would feel would be the most important thing to know for anybody who's looking to make a transition from whatever they're doing into fitness.
So the state of personal training really boils down to having to be the trainer, get the certification, learn the skill, learn the trade, but also market yourself and also be able to sell. But not just sell personal training, you have to sell somebody on the fact that it's a value that they want to include in their life.
Yeah, it's different. I feel like I went through a lot of salesmanship courses and books, and the difference with trying to sell somebody a pot or a pan or a vacuum cleaner is that may or may not be a value add in this person's life, right? Maybe they already have a pot. Maybe they have a vacuum cleaner. Maybe yours is a little bit better, but people coming with fitness and they want to make their lives better. So you can feel okay with the tools of salesmanship to help people get over the hump of whether this is something that they should do or not. Whereas they're psychological tools. Sales is a psychological thing, and then you use these tools like mirroring and bouncing back questions and learning what are the reasons. For example, what are the reasons why somebody would not buy personal training from me, right? So maybe it's inconvenient for them. The time that's available is not good for them, or the location is not good for them, right? Maybe they're not the decision maker. Maybe they need to talk to somebody else about whether they can invest this money or not. There might be a spouse involved or something, or parent, right? So that may be another reason why they may not buy. They may feel that they don't need personal training, that they know enough that they can go on it alone. But the truth is that even personal trainers use personal trainers. So the truth is everybody can benefit from having a personal trainer. So when you sit with someone and you know that these might be, or that they can't afford it, right? That's another reason, is like they don't have the money for it. So when you sit and you're interviewing somebody and you're qualifying them as a candidate for your team, right? Because you're going to take them on. You're asking them questions to find out what is their answer to those problems. So, hey, Billy, this gym, is this nearby where you work or nearby your house? Why'd you come here today? And then you would go ahead and tell me, no, this is close to work, or this is close to my house. And then I would look at you and say, so this is convenient for you. And I would shake my head yes, like this. That would make you shake your head. That's called mirroring. You don't realize that that's happening to you, but it is. You've already told me that it's convenient. Later on, when I go to present to you the options, a 10-pack, a 20-pack, a 50-pack, you cannot reject me by telling me that it's not convenient for you, because you already told me that it was.
That's good.
So the same thing with the value in the personal training. I'll ask you about your history with the gym. What do you know? Do you know about squats? Do you know about Olympic weightlifting? What do you know about running? Do you know about running intervals, or running for distance, or running short? And I would come to find out that and show you that you actually don't know as much as you think you know about fitness, right? So then I would tell you, it's like, so personal trainers really do have a lot to offer. There's a lot of value in getting a personal trainer. Shake my head, yes. And then you would say yes. So when we go to the point of sale, you couldn't tell me that you don't see the value in it, because you already agreed. And these are psychological tools that you may feel, or at least I felt initially, like I was tricking people into buying the training, and I was pressuring them with these psychological tools in order to get them to make a purchase. And I was so good at it that I could get people to purchase even when they didn't want it, and they wouldn't even use their sessions. You know, they'd buy a package and it really wasn't for them, and it wasn't going to work out. But because I was so good at selling, I sold them the personal training and they bought it. And so I'd never do that anymore. But the truth is that I did it because I felt like this is going to be a value for you. This is going to be great. You are not feeling well. You are out of shape. You are overweight. You're having to take pills. Your diet is a mess. Everything that I see with you, I know that I can improve that for you. But I've come to realize that it is, even though it's fantastic and it's amazing, it's not the kind of thing that you want to force down on people. You end up getting people.
Wouldn't everybody? I mean, not many people love exercise.
This is true.
You know, working with a trainer, like, you might want to sleep in, and you got an appointment with a trainer at 7 in the morning. You're gonna still want to sleep in, but you're gonna go because you got that appointment. You know,
most people will, but there's plenty of people who will lose their money.
But there are people that you may essentially persuade for them to persuade themselves to do it, and then 6 months later, when they actually stepped up and came to all the appointments, it was a huge value for them.
Yes.
But they were apprehensive in the beginning.
So that's why I switched from what I consider to be hard selling tactics to soft selling tactics.
Hard selling to soft selling, good.
Soft selling. So I much rather would now is meet you, talk to you, and get your history and all the same things, and never do any of the mirroring or any of that. And just be really, really clear about how I can help you. And then I would even give you, as opposed to trying to hard sell you and get you right away, I would rather give you a free hour of my time. Let me show you what I can do for you. Let me demonstrate the value that I have to offer you. And then if you don't like me, maybe you don't like the gym, maybe it turns out that it's not as convenient or whatever, you don't feel bad about not joining up, right? It's like, okay, you didn't do it, it's okay. I don't feel bad either, because I don't get people who don't really want to be with me. The only people who are with me are the ones who really want to do it. And while it may seem like it's a really good long-term strategy, You may not get all the sales that you want up front. And in the beginning, you're like really thirsty. You're like trying to get all the clients you can because you don't have any money. So you feel like you want to hard sell people. My advice is don't do it. You're going to feel better about taking your time and only having people on your team that want to be there. Nobody that doesn't want to be there. Because that person is going to bring an energy to your session that you're not going to feel happy about going to see them either. You're not going to understand why, but because they don't want to be there, you're going to pick up on that, and then you don't want to be there, and nobody wins under that situation. So take the time to cultivate a team of people that actually want to be with you, that can appreciate the value that you have to offer, as opposed to tricking people onto your team. No hard selling tactics.
So let me ask you this. You have over 10 years of success, and I would say that personal training, any type of fitness, has huge turnover. So someone who's been in this for multiple years, and is even, I mean, training many sessions per week, week in, week out, making well over into six figures in your space. You know, you've been successful for more than a year, more than 2 years, more than 10 years. What kind of advice can you offer a seasoned veteran fitness pro to maximize their income? So let's pretend like you're talking to some people who really know their stuff now, and you want to give them a nugget.
Okay. There's many paths up the mountain, but I'm going to say that what has worked for me, right? Because I can't say what worked for the other guy. Some guys on TV screaming at people. I never yell at anybody, and they're making millions of dollars too. And they got their own studios and their own brand, and they're selling products, and they're helping people in the way that they help people. But that wouldn't work for me or the people that I work with. But what has worked for me is, number one, being a specialist. Yes, I have taken every certification you can imagine over the course of time, because you have to take continuing education, and I'm not going to be repeating the same courses. There's no value in me spending money on things that I already know. So you want to do boxing? Okay. You want to do kickboxing? Okay. You want to do yoga? Okay. You want to do Pilates? Okay. No problem. You want to do strength training? I got it. You're a runner. I got you covered. You want to lose weight? I got you covered. You need diet help? I got all of that. However, I'm known as an expert with people with injuries. So I have a niche. Even though I am a fantastic generalist, just because of the matter of time, the amount of time I've been in the industry, I specialize in working with people with injuries. That is my go-to. So there are a lot of guys that specialize in kickboxing or boxing or kettlebells, you know, and people will go for them when they want boxing or kickboxing or kettlebells. People come to me when they want somebody who's going to be able to work around their injury and help them to get fit or maintain fitness, or maybe even to excel at something that they're doing while working around an injury. And I think that has been foundational to my practice, is I am the guy that works with people who are hurt. And there's lots of people who are hurting. So it's a big market. And once somebody who's hurt finds somebody who can take care of them, they never want to go with anybody else. It's like, that's my guy. I've been training with him for 2 years. I've never been hurt, not once. You know? The second thing I would say is know your craft. The whole game of personal training is two things: progression and regression. You must understand that when someone tells you that they can't do something, it's not your job to force them to do it anyway.
Right.
As a coach, your first objective is to do no harm. If you're working with athletes, your job is to keep your athletes on the field. And if your athlete is complaining about something, when I do this, my back hurts. When I do this, my shoulder is bothering me. Or we did that last time and it didn't feel good. Guess what? You have to be smart enough to say, hey, maybe we need to regress that, and know what are the regressions for the move that we're doing. And be able to recognize, hey, that's getting too easy. It's time to progress. Too many people spend way too much time on physio balls and tricks and gimmicks and a bunch of funny stuff, trying to fire the core and all this other stuff, and they don't realize it's time to progress. It's been 3 months now. Get off of that. Put some weights in these people's hands and so on. So know your progressions, know your regressions, and know when to apply them. That is going to be critical to your success. when your client says, I don't want to do that today, and instantly you have another exercise, another move, they're like, hey, this guy knows his stuff. We never have to squat. I said I don't want to squat, and look, my legs are jacked, and we never squat. Somehow he figured out a way to get me to my goal without making me do the stuff that I don't want to do. And I never do that, especially because I work with people with injuries. So if they say they can't do something, I have no choice. I either have to regress them or change the move. So that's really critical too. Find your niche and then learn your craft. You have to be able to regress things and know when it's time for a progression.
It's good.
Other foundational thing is you have to be invested in your client. Research their situation. Understand where they're coming from. Ask them questions. You can't treat everybody the same. It's not the same workout all day. It's not CrossFit. This is not the WOD of the day. If they wanted that, they could just go onto the CrossFit website and download that stuff and just do it on their own. They don't need you at $150 an hour to give them something that you gave everybody else. It's personal training. Design a system that is personal to this person. That, for me, has to be the case because everybody has a different injury, so I have to design a program that's different for everybody. But if I was working with athletes and everybody was the same athlete, I'd be tempted to do the same thing for everybody. But I think it's important to recognize that people are paying you this money, a lot of money, for personal training, you know? So that, I think, is foundational. Be invested in your clients. Take the time to sit 5-10 minutes and think about what they told you, what their goals are, what they would like to do, and what they don't want to do. And then design a program that is going to get them to where they want to go without injury. Minimize risk. There's a lot of cool stuff, and it's really easy to get caught up in gimmicks and cool and the latest and this and that. Fortunately for me, because I work with people with injuries, we can't be doing all this crazy latest and greatest stuff. Stick with what works. Keep it simple. You don't have to be doing the latest, greatest, not necessarily if the value of what I'm trying to gain. What do people really want to do? Most people, they're trying to meet and exceed the demands of their life. Most of them are not athletes. They're not competing against other people. At most, they're competing with themselves. So how heavy does it have to be? How much risk do you have to add to this programming in order to make these people just meet and exceed the demands of their life? Not too much.
That's good.
And you yourself, maybe, you put yourself under these tremendous pressures and these risky situations, but you're an expert, you're a pro, and you're pushing yourself in a way that maybe your client doesn't need to. So there's no reason. That doesn't mean make things easy for them, but it has to be tailored to what they said. It's like, hey, I want to be able to run an 8-minute mile, and they're at 10 minutes. Are you going to train them like you're trying to kill them because you're trying to get them to the 6-minute mile? No, they said 8-minute mile. Give them the 8-minute mile type of programming without risking them and without trying to hurt them. So I think those are the 3 things that I would say are like critical. Get your niche, be invested in your clients, and figure out a way to get them to where they want to go without hurting them. And I forgot the 3rd thing that we talked about. Sorry.
It's all there. It's all there. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And
specialization. You know, you get your stuff and be in your space. Be invested in people. Don't hurt people.
For a generic personal trainer, let's say a trainer who works 30, 40 hours a week, what's their end game? Are they going to train until they're 80 years old? That's
possible. Why not?
So that's an opportunity. What's your end game?
Well, I feel like I've created a lifestyle that has matched a certain level of earning potential. And so because I've been successful and I have more clients than I know what to do with, that I've raised the standard of living to match my production. And that as I've gotten older, I don't have the same level of energy to be able to keep that level of production up. So I'm interested now in being able to dial back the one-on-one personal training, because I don't want to get up in the middle of the night, and I don't want to be working late at night, and I don't want to work weekends, and I want to embrace digital. So for me, that's my game. I want to go digital. I want to expand my offerings, the digital offerings and things like that. But there's no reason why you can't train people until you're 80 if you enjoy it and if it's something that you find manageable. The hours are good for you. I mean, we make our own hours. I work starting at 6 a.m. because I decided I want to work at 6 a.m. Nobody tells me I have to take those clients, right? I took them on. And so this situation is kind of like something that I've created. But my end game is to step away from one-on-one and provide education and content digitally now moving forward.
Now, is that going to be letting go of clients or as they're
Absolutely. I've gone through this cycle of you get too many clients, right? You do your marketing, you do whatever you got to do, you're getting people in, and now you have a full schedule. You wanted to work 40 hours solid, steady, you got your 40 hours solid, steady. And you still have 10 people on the waiting list waiting to get in with you, right? So you have to raise your price. That's what you do. Some people fall out because they can't afford it anymore. And that's unfortunate. You try to find them somebody who they can afford if possible, and you pass them on to somebody else who's going to take care of them the same way you took care of them, but they're going to be able to afford. So I've gone through that cycle many, many, many times, and I'm like at the top end of what I can charge.
I totally cut him out. What happened here?
We got cut off.
No, it's good.
All right, so that's the process. You're going to get clients. You're going to get enough clients at the level you're charging. And once you're full and you have no space for any more, you have to start raising the price. People fall out. You get new people who can pay the new price, and you keep going through that process. Eventually, maybe some people are not like me. Maybe some people are happy to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, you know. It takes me over 60 hours a week to see just over 40 sessions every week.
That's
you know,
good.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a 12-hour day, 5 days a week. That's a lot of time that I don't have to spend with my children, that I don't have time to train myself, that I can't read new material, that I can't be doing research or trying new avenues of training. I can't take new courses because I'm too busy servicing all these people. For some trainers, maybe that's great. That might be the end situation for them. I want to do this forever. I love one-on-one personal training, and I want to be doing that forever. I don't mind getting up at 4:30 in the morning. I don't mind working at 10 o'clock at night. That's okay. Everybody has to decide for themselves. Now, fitness is so broad that you can do studio classes, right? You don't have to teach one-on-one. You can teach group. You can teach small group. You could be teaching outside. You could be holding boot camps. So it's a fantastic field in that there's lots of opportunity to mix it up. You could do I don't do anything but one-on-one just because for me it's been the most consistent, right? It's just really consistent. These people don't go anywhere. I have like in the 90s retention rate. I got the same clients from when we were back at New York Sports Club 15 years ago. They're still with me. They're old now, but they're still here. So I just feel comfortable knowing that I'm going to go away on vacation. I'm going to take 2 weeks off and I'm going to come back and my clients are still going to be there. I don't have to worry about having to reestablish a newfound base of clients, right? But there's plenty of money to be made in group fitness and now in digital. Like this wasn't available when we started, and to go digital and have content online and help people from around the world, you know, and I started with my clients who leave to the Hamptons. It's like I used to go out there and I used to train them, and I used to drive out there and charge a premium for going, and they were happy to pay to continue to have me come out there on the weekends so that I can continue to work with them. but it became more of a hassle for me. And I just, as I kept getting better and better and doing more and more, I said, you know what? I don't need to go. I'm not going. I'm not taking that trip anymore. So they're like, oh, what are we going to do? I said, well, now we have this opportunity that I could just FaceTime you, put it in your gym, and I'll just work you through the digital layer. And so once I got exposed to that, I realized how amazing, what an amazing opportunity this is. I could be training somebody in Sweden. I don't have to only worry about the people here in my immediate market in Manhattan. We can go anywhere and do anything. I could do group fitness digital, you know, the Peloton, whatever. There could be a place, a studio with a TV with me in the front on my iPad, and I'm giving instructions. So there's no limit to what you can accomplish now. It's really amazing.
If a New York City independent trainer needed to pick up 5 clients to meet a financial goal, what advice could you give them?
Reach out to your network first. Okay, there's a reason why before you buy something online, you check the reviews. Everybody likes validation, right? You go to the bar and you sit down and no woman will talk to you. Show up with a wedding ring, okay? Someone already validated you and said, hey, this guy's a keeper. Now you got women offering you to buy you a drink. Are you here alone? You expecting someone? Validation. So you need to talk to the people who already believe in you. All your clients have friends, have relatives, have children, have spouses, have other people in their life that could benefit from what you're offering them. You need more clients, you need to go to your clients. That's the main place where you're going to get them from. And I say that, I want to add to the fact that I live a faith-based life. I don't want to leave that out. I am successful because I put God first and that I rely on God to provide me the things that I need, and I have that expectation in my life. And then I go ahead and find these opportunities and find these ways to do things. But I want to make sure that I give credit where it's due. God helps me accomplish the things that I've accomplished so far. I don't take any credit for any of that.
It's great. Very good. So if you mentored somebody and they asked you, Kristian, I want to either, they get these options, like I want to take steps through personal training, through group fitness, to eventually own a gym, invest in a gym, meaning they're not the sole operator, B, manage in corporate fitness, you know, like for instance, if they do New York Sports Club, Equinox, Barry's Boot Camp, they become some of the executives of those organizations through literally the same way corporate America climbs the corporate ladder. C, D being, you know, become a celebrity trainer, because people could do that, or just staying as a one-on-one personal trainer or group fitness person. What would you kind of guidance would you give to someone who asked you that question, who literally was like in their second year or their first year of training? They said, you know, which direction should I be heading?
Wow. That's like a medical student coming to ask you in medical school, and you happen to be, you know, an arthroscopic surgeon for knees, and it's like, hey, which direction should I go? It's like, hey, man, you could operate on eyes, you could do backs, you could do knees, you could do wrists. There's so many opportunities. Maybe you don't even want to do any of that stuff. You want to do a little bit of everything. Fitness is beautiful. There's so many variations of it. You could train people with never ever having seen them. You could just write programming. Maybe you're just really good at developing programs, and you could just sell programs online.
Right.
And people will just call you, hit you up, and once a month you check in on them, you get them an email. So it's not my place to recommend what specialty anybody should take.
Those are real broad strokes.
Corporate or you go this way. Yeah, man. There's a lot. This is a huge industry, right? And it's great because there's lots of tools. It's like, hey, maybe you want to be the Pilates expert. Maybe you want to do yoga. Maybe you want to do kettlebells, boxing, kickboxing, train MMA fighters. Maybe you want to run, train long distance, short distance. It's like, what can you imagine that you would enjoy doing? This is a career that allows you to make a very good living off of a hobby, right? Because you probably are interested in fitness already, right? If personal training caught you, you probably already like working out. You probably like being fit. You probably don't need anybody to pay you to read articles or stuff like that because you're doing it on your own already for your own personal benefit. So truth be told, this is a career where you could never have a day where you went to work. You just went and hanged out every day with wonderful people,
Right.
smart, intelligent people, and never really had a grind or pressure and the report is due and this email and this, none of that corporate stuff. This is a beautiful, beautiful life. But it is very broad. So people just need, I would recommend try a couple of different things, you know, work at a big gym, work at a boutique fitness gym, try management if you think that, you know, you have some kind of educational background and you're good with numbers and spreadsheets and stuff like that. Try managing a team, try a couple of different things before you kind of fall into what you think you're going to be doing long term. And then never close yourself off to new things, because new things will come up, and try those new things also. You don't know what you're going to fall in love with and it's going to become a new passion. And when you're passionate about something, you tend to do it well. You don't need to, it's like you come out of a movie, it was Rocky, you loved it, you just ran into me on the street. I'm going to go see Rocky based on that transfer of emotion. You're going to come out and you're like, Chris, that movie was amazing. That was why? Because you got some passion about it. So the same thing, you find something in the fitness arena that you're going to have some passion about, that you're going to be excited about doing and talking to people about it, because they're going to pick up on your passion and say, this guy really loves that stuff. I'm kind of interested. Let's try it. You know, but if you're not going to have any success. Don't do stuff that you don't enjoy. You don't want to go to work.
I get it.
No.
So you're saying if someone they got to really evaluate their strengths and weaknesses and evaluate what they want and take that direction. And none of those paths are dictated.
No. Many paths up the mountain. Many, many paths. And you don't have to stay on one path. You can start on one path and jump to another and jump back. There's no reason why you can't. It's not being inconsistent. You shouldn't look at it that way, that last year you were doing kettlebells and this year you're doing running and maybe next year you're doing kickboxing. It's not inconsistent. It's chasing your passion. And that's okay. That's actually encouraged. That's a good thing.
Is there anything else you want to add? The wisdom of the legendary.
Don't work with anybody you don't want to work for. Do not work with anyone who you do not want to work with for the money. Okay? If you don't want to work with someone, don't have them on your team, no matter how much they're offering you or paying you. It's not worth the drain that this person is going to bring onto your existence.
But every fitness professional has done that. Everyone. You know, like,
I have fired clients.
You need to pay bills, and someone says, hey, can I train with you 3 or 4 times a week, paying a premium price, and they might not be your target demographic. It's hard to say no.
That they are not your target is one thing. That you don't like them is totally different. Right. You're not obligated to like everyone just because you're in sales, all right? This is your family, okay? You're going to take care of these people. You're like the father figure here, right? You're going to come with information that they don't have. You're going to teach them things. You're going to train them. You're going to educate them. You're going to take care of them. You don't want anybody there who you don't want. Not for money. If you have a need, well, I can understand that, you know. But when they got to go, they got to go. Don't hold on to them. Don't be attached like that. It's not healthy. And what happens at 8 a.m. after I just finished training my 7 a.m. who I hate?
Right.
My 8 a.m. is now affected by my 7 a.m. who I hate.
That's good.
So now I'm coming in grumpy, huffing and puffing because my 7 a.m. stinks, doesn't take care of themselves, refuses to put in any effort, whatever the case may be. There's some people who are just nasty, or they're really aggressive towards you, or they say mean things, or they're just bigoted people, or whatever. You don't have to take people on who you don't like, because it's going to affect the other areas of your life. And it's not worth it for the money. Maybe in the beginning when you need the money, you have to do it. But over the course of your career, I would advise you to eliminate those people. But feel free to fire people and get them off your team when they don't deserve to be there anymore, you know? Even, you know, Michael Jordans and LeBron James, at some points, teams don't want them, they trade them. It doesn't matter. The winning, whatever, this guy is toxic in the locker room, he's got to go. And you got to be willing to say that to yourself. It's like, this person is toxic and they got to go.
Awesome.
It's not an easy career due to the fact that you have to be good at 3 things simultaneously. You have to market, you have to sell, and then you have to deliver. So it's not easy, and it can be very discouraging at the beginning. When you're like, bro, I did 3 interviews and I didn't sell anybody. And you're looking at the next trainer and he's like one after another, after another, after another, after another. It can be very discouraging. But it's always, anything in life worth having is going to be like that. And to get to the maximum level, you're going to have to double your efforts towards the end. Right? When you're getting close is when you're going to meet the most resistance in whatever you're trying to accomplish. You're going to need to double your efforts. If you look at the staircase of the Philadelphia library where Rocky runs, the last 2 steps are double wide. And it's a tell to how accomplishment is. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you really like fitness and you enjoy that environment, the camaraderie at the gym and the fun and the outdoors and this, you know, and here's another thing. How about travel? You like to travel, you know? As a fitness professional, you can work on a boat. You can cruise line. You could teach classes at a hotel, luxury hotel, and spend the whole summer, food and board in a beautiful place. There's a lot of opportunities here. There's a tremendous amount of opportunities, wonderful things that you're not going to get from sitting at a desk. So I encourage people who are starting out brand new to stick with it. And remember who feeds you. And go there often and say, thank God, I appreciate that. I need a little bit more. And expect it and wait patiently. The more is coming. And just continue to be grateful, and it will come, and you will grow, and you will see what a blessed life you could have in fitness. Your job is to be healthy. I mean, like, health is wealth, right? What do you care that you got a hedge fund and you make $25 million a year and you got to pop 50 pills a day? You're fat and overweight and you look like crap and you feel like crap. What's that 25 million worth to you? Nothing. Nothing. You can't do anything. Well, you can't enjoy it. We're rich. We're in great shape. People don't believe how old we are. It's like you tell somebody, you know, how old you are, and they're like, what? You look like a kid. It's like, yeah, you can't buy that. People nipping and tucking and pumping and this and that. And here you are. This is your job, to wake up every day and look and feel amazing and help other people look and feel amazing. I mean, like, that's a tremendous blessing. If you like fitness, stick with it. It is a career that really gives a lot back. And you can go home every day from your job and feel like you did something that was worthwhile. You're helping people, whereas you may not really be able to connect the dots at some other job. It's like, oh, I helped the stockholders. I mean, the value of the company went up a little bit. And I guess that there's something to be said in that. But there's a big disconnect in that arena where you will not experience that in fitness. You are helping people. You know that what you do is good and you're doing good every day. And that's a great feeling to have. Like, I'm important. At least to these 25 people who I work with, I'm really important. I'm keeping them away from the doctor. I'm helping them pick up their kids and go to the pumpkin patch and be able to pick up a pumpkin and not throw out their back, and so on and so forth. And that's the value in being able to have a rich life. And you're helping other people to do that. It's just really tremendous.
Awesome. Great, dude. I love that you're pouring out your heart. I love that you're putting some thought into this, and it comes from a deep level of confidence in your skill. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here. I hope that some people can watch this and it helps them to have a career like the one that I've been fortunate enough to have. I'm a blessed person. And I love fitness, and I continue to find new ways to enjoy it.
All right. Listen, I want to get you back on here
Thank you,
again.
Billy.
Pick your brain a little bit more about
Sure, my
those
pleasure.
nuggets that you were sharing. But for right now, I really think that we've got
Anytime.
some really good information to share.
All
Thank you,
right.
brother.